TLDR, too long, didn't read. You are spending too long rereading your emails over and over again for spelling mistakes to still slip through. Here is our simple solution. Hi, and welcome to the Dyslexia in Adults podcast. I'm Natalie, and I know exactly what it feels like to be frustrated, embarrassed, and exhausted by dyslexia, which is why this podcast is about sharing the advice and strategies that I wish I had known sooner. There is no cliches, no fluff, and it's just real strategies that we know work. So let's get started. We all know that moment when you are looking at an old email that you've sent to just clarify some information, and there it is, a spelling mistake glaring at you right in the face. Doesn't matter that you read that email over and over again and that you used spell check. Somehow, it still seems to be there. Now, not only is that incredibly annoying, but deeper than that, what I often find is it builds up in you. And I know for me, I used to have this anxiety around sending emails. I knew that I'd checked it. I knew that I'd looked it over. And yet in the pit of my stomach, I felt this fear that there was a spelling mistake in it. And then you start procrastinating and things just take you longer. And frankly, dyslexia is hard enough already. We don't need all this anxiety and procrastination around sending emails. So this week's episode is about how to learn to hit send on that email and reduce the anxiety. Now, in terms of the problem that you're facing right now, dyslexia means that we are processing written information through multiple centers of the brain. Many of you will have seen that image of a neurotypical person who is reading something and it's just one area is lit up. But when you're dyslexic, you're often using between 3 and 5 areas of the brain to try and process written information. And that is why spotting these things is so much harder. Or another way of thinking about it, you know when you're bowling and you have those 3 pins there, and in your dream world, you manage to roll the ball and hit all 3 of the pins. But the truth is, you try and hit all 3 and somehow it goes off the side and you hit nothing. That is exactly what is going on in your brain. Trying to do 3 things at once and achieving this miraculous result is really hard. Okay, let's start talking strategies because we both know reading your emails over and over again is not working. The simple and easy solution to this is text to audio. By hearing what you have written, it can give you a lot more confidence in the grammar and phrasing, that you've got your point across, and that you haven't had any mistakes with homophones. So basically writing brain when you meant Brian. Now, there's lots of different ways to use text to audio depending on which email system you're using and which computer you have. But one that is universal is using Google Translate. You can put what you've written in Google Translate and it will speak aloud to you. So if you're confused on where to get started with this, give that a go. Now, you know that we love to think about reframes with this. Obviously, you've been reading your emails over and over again, and you know it's not working, but yet you are quite stuck to that strategy. The key here is about separating your emails into 2 categories. What are the emails that really matter, and we need to go that extra mile with text to audio, sending them to someone else to read, using AI, whatever it is. And then the emails that you just have to accept. If they understand you, that's what matters. And that is one of the things that's really important in moving forward and hitting send. Only focusing on the emails that matter and the work that needs to be done to check them correctly. The rest just need to be sent. So to recap, no one understands better than me that buildup of constant mistakes with emails has led to procrastination and frustration with just hitting send on your emails. But the madness of reading them over and over again and not hitting send has to go. Text to audio is a really simple way to rebuild your confidence and get those emails done. Thank you for listening to the Dyslexia in Adults podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please do rate and review it, as it makes a huge difference to reach more people like you. Just remember that dyslexia does not define you, and with the right strategies, you can unlock your potential. See you next week.